Hi everyone! Today I am putting together some leftover cards from Stamp Camp this past week, and I used a card right from the catalog. It's always funny when I make a card right from the catalog and someone says, "Oh, this is such a cute idea, you're so creative," and I do think I'm somewhat creative, but the people who make the catalog are really talented, and it's funny how people often miss the card samples, or they look different in real life than they do in the catalog. So I often, use the catalog as a reference. It's a wonderful reference, and anyway, I love that door card, and I wanted to create it myself. Changed it up with what I have on hand, different papers and things, and so I cut up these for Stamp Camp, and I thought we would make some together. I always cut extra because I never know if someone's going to make a mistake, and I want people to go home with a finished product, even if they do make a mistake. And a couple people were sick this week because of COVID. We still have every once in a while, it creeps up on us, so a few people were sick. So I have extra packets, and I thought I would make them up. So the card is pretty simple. The only thing is a lot of little cutting. So I pre-cut everything for Stamp Camp, just so that Stamp Camp doesn't take all afternoon. So let me tell you what I do. I have a bag of white strips. You always have these white strips left over, long white strips left over from cutting various things. There's always that little bit left at the end. So, ½ inch, ¼ inch, inch size. This is an inch size, and I had a lot of strips like this in my white scrap bag. Here's my white scrap bag, right? So when I need a piece of white paper, I grab from my scrap bag. Anyway, it's getting too big. So I was really happy to use these, and I don't know the exact sizes from the catalog. I'm just telling you what I used. I grabbed my inch strips because I had a lot of them and I needed to cut for enough for 14 people. So I used that, and these are just an inch wide. And then when I wanted to do the background, all I did was make an 1/8 bigger. And then these are 2 1/4 long, which makes these an 1/8 bigger. So there's just a tiny bit showing, just like that. I just added an 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit bigger, so that there'd be a little bit of a frame around the white piece. And that's just to give the effect of a shadow. I know that our doors at home, if we have a white door, it rarely has this color, but it just gives that depth, and people understand what you're doing. So then I have 2 at that size. So the white is 1 inch by 2 1/4, and then add an 1/8. And then I made another pair, and these are only 2 inches. So you're just going to be 1/4 of an inch different. And that is your door panels. So we've got that. And I just used liquid glue to attach these, because that way you've got a second to kind of adjust if needed. And that's always good. I will speed up this part so that you don't have to watch me gluing. Okay, so I've got all my little door panels, and then also with basic white, I've got the door. And this one, I think I made it 3 inches wide, yes, by 5 1/4, I believe. Yes, okay, 3 inches by 5 1/4. Now, for your background, you just need a very basic color. I looked for a pattern that was just a tone-on-tone or a basic pattern like this, because what we're trying to recreate is a wall, and you don't want too many things going on in your wall, too much pattern. So if you have a tone-on-tone pattern or something like this, that can look like wallpaper perhaps, so it's the door or a house. Maybe you've got brick paper, that would be good there too. We used to have some that had bricks in it. This is what's making me think of it. In the Plentiful Plants, which maybe is on the clearance. I'm not sure that it is anymore. Paper goes really fast on the clearance, and they just updated the clearance rack. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to use the liquid glue again. Okay, now when you put down your panels, there were 2 large and 2 small. The large go on the top half of the door, and then the smaller ones go down below, and you've got a little bit imagine a door, how they're not evenly spaced. The bottom has a little bit of like maybe a toe kick they call, or whatever they call it, I don't know. I don't know my anatomy of a door. And then we're going to do a little bit of space at the top and a little bit of space at the middle. So they're not like evenly spaced. I'm trying to imagine a door where there's the cross piece of wood that's thicker maybe, so that the door has some strength. So just imagine a door. There you go. And then again, the liquid glue is great, so you can move things.
If you need to.
If it helps you to get out a ruler, you could. I'm usually kind of an eyeball it kind of girl. Maybe that is not so good. Okay, there's your basic door. And then for the stamp, for the wreath, I'm using the newest wreath stamp and die bundle called Cottage Wreath. And then the die set is called Country Wreaths. So you've got a stamp and a die, and we've had a few different die stamps and die combinations in the past. I am well aware. So if you have one of our older ones, this will work great. I think every time they come up with a new wreath combo, they kind of make it a little bit better each time. So they think of, oh, we should have done this or we should have done that. So I kind of feel like they've really done a great job with this one, in that I really love the softness of this bow and the fact that you can layer, and they've just got a few different dies so you can use the stamped image cut out, but they've also given you some images that you can cut out that are not stamped. They're actually, you use your paper to make them, and I have a card made like that. Let me see if I can find it really fast. If it takes me too long, I will give up. There it is. So see how you've got a wreath, but it's paper. There's one. So, and a paper bow, or you can have a die cut out bow. Anyway, I think it's fun, and you can do fall and even Halloween spookiness, and I love the little acorn. So it's a fun little collection. If you don't already have a wreath one, I would grab it. So for the wreath, I am going to use this stamp, and I cut myself a square. I think it's like 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to use 2 stamps. We're going to stamp both the twig and the leaf. Now I'm using Old Olive. And then I'm going to use Early Espresso for the twigs, or Soft Suede, whichever one. I happen to have this one out, so. And we're just going to go right on top of each other. I kind of stamped close to the edge. Maybe Soft Suede would have been better. I think I did Soft Suede on my sample, which for some reason is buried now. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to cut it out. And like I said, there's a couple different wreath options. There's one that's just for the twig, which is the skinniest one. And then there's these two that don't cut out stamped images. They're just paper cutouts. And then this one is for that leafy image that we did in green. And there's kind of a trick to lining it up. I always look for the weird outlier, and I think that's this one. And then I kind of found it easily here. And that's how I lined it up. Now they do put this little arrow, like it says, like this is up, but then you have to remember what's up here, and I don't think that's easy. So to me, it's look for the little outlier, and I think that's it. For some people, it might be that one. Anyway, you it'll feel right to you. Look for something odd, and that's what I found that was odd, and I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to show you too, coming up, the so many options for the insides. Okay, and I could have cut that out with my mini, but I accidentally left the mini. I brought home the plates, but I left the machine at the place where I where I do my classes at church. They let me use a room, and I left my machine there, so I'll have to pick it up Sunday when I'm there. And anyway, so I had to use my big machine, which is across the room, so I didn't bother doing that on camera. So here it is, and now we're just going to attach it to our door. Now here I wanted it popped up a little bit, so I used dimensionals to lift it up. And I just used 3. There we go. Okay, and then there's a bow in the die set, and I've already cut the bow out. I know I saw it a minute ago, but I have lost it. There it is. And I used some red glimmer paper. And I am using up some of my paper pumpkin glue dots rather than open up a new box of glue dots. So that's what I'm using here. That's why they look funny on these little sheets. If you get paper pumpkin, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna just use some glue dots behind, and I'm gonna kind of put them on the bow part, because in the center I am going to stick this little scrap of red glimmer paper to kind of look like a hanger, like the wreath is being hung by some ribbon by a hanger. And so I've got this little stick that I want to glue down. There we go. And that we will cut to length based on where our wreath ended up. Oops. Okay. So let's put this down, and actually you might not have to cut it at all. Look at that. Okay, so now I'll put a glue dot. I thought I was going to have to cut that top, but I don't. Put a glue dot behind it and stick that down, and there is my wreath. Okay, and then I wanted to add some little holly berries, some red sparkle. And I love, love, love these little red rhinestones. Now, if you don't have little red rhinestones, little red rhinestones kind of sounds like Little Red Riding Hood. If you don't have these, you can use regular colored rhinestones and a red Sharpie or Stampin' Blends and alcohol markers, basically what you need. So I can use my Stampin' Up Stampin' Blends in real red and change the color of clear rhinestones or clear pearls, and you can make them into red holly berries. But I happen to have these little red ones. I use them so much at Christmas time that I just love that I have a whole pack of them. You can use them for Rudolph noses and holly berry. They're also nice at Valentine's. Alright, so I put little just clusters of 3, and I did 3 clusters of 3, kind of spaced like that. And now we need a little doorknob, and for that, in the catalog, they used a sequin. Perfect, right? I happen to have some of these older things, these little metallic, kind of looked architectural in a way, or there's these little kind of with a screw bolt in them. Anyway, I use those. I gave that as an option at Stamp Camp, and most people chose that. This is a brand new product that is coming out next month, part of a bundle that'll be available for customers next month, but demonstrators got it early. And I thought this looked a little like a doorknob as well. It's got some like etched, they're calling it swirl, and backing there, and it's self-adhesive, so I'm just going to throw that right there, and I think that looks like a perfect doorknob. And when I chose this paper, I should tell you where it came from, but it's mint macaron, so I want to make a card base in mint. So here we got that. It's in this kit here, this collection. It's huge. This is a host paper pack, which means if you put in an order, or Stampin' Rewards I should say, if you put in an order of $150 or more, you can choose this paper pack as like a free item, as one of your free items. And I always choose the free paper pack as my free item because they're always fun and they're so big. And you've got patterns on one side and kind of tone on the other. So that's where this paper comes from. Anyway, so I'm going to put that down. Sticking with my liquid glue today. When I do a big piece like that, I like to kind of give it a wiggle, so then the glue kind of smears around. I cut my background here. Normally, I do like a little border on my backgrounds, you know, so it's a 1/4 of an inch smaller, but this time I did the full length, full width of the card front because this door is kind of tall. And there is the outside. Now for the inside, I grabbed a piece of basic white, and I always, when I cut this, you end up with these little strips left over. And I like to keep them because why not? You know, you've got, why throw it away? You can dress up your inside a little bit, right? But I want to show you the stamp sets that are great for the inside. There's so many. Okay, sometimes it's hard to fill up a whole inside of a card, so it's nice to have a stamped greeting to help you out, right? So this is an older one. This is from last year, but it's still in the annual catalog, Christmas to Remember. It's got a cute font, and so it's a really fun addition if you want to put one of these on the inside of your card, and you can use some of these bigger sayings on the outside of your card. So this is in the annual catalog. Now in the mini catalog is this one, Brightest Glow. Now there happens to be a die that goes with this one. I didn't get the dies, I just got the greetings because I need those insides, and so I only did the stamp set for this one. But you've got so many possibilities here. I love the scriptiness of this one's kind of a more dressy, kind of pretty, but then if you wanted a cute Happy Holidays, then you've got that. So you've kind of got a few different font choices here, and so I really like this one. And then this one is if you're looking for more of a religious inside. So you've got this one, Hope and Peace is a great option. Excuse me. And then, let's see, what did I show you? Oh, this one, Very Best Occasions. Now, the reason why I like this one is because maybe you don't want to invest in a Christmas only stamp set. And here you've got a Christmas, two, as a matter of fact. But it's not all Christmas. You've also got a birthday. You've got a thinking of you, just a basically love you, miss you kind of a thing. This could be sympathy, right? Or a Thanksgiving or a fall grateful card. Or this is good for the birthday inside, so you can do birthday outside. And then this one would be great for the inside for a birthday. So I kind of think Very Best Occasions is an awesome investment. And then this one, also available next month for customers, but current month right now for demonstrators, Framed and Festive. And it is, look at this font. I love the bigness of it. So this is good for the outside of a card, like a real focal sentiment on the outside, but or you can use them on the inside as well. And I think this is a really great stamp set too. If you've ever thought about becoming a demonstrator, if you join now, this you could choose anything in your starter kit, even stuff that's not quite out yet. So anyway, Framed and Festive. This will be available next month for customers. These are all available right now and great for the insides. And I just kind of grabbed one at random, so I think I happen to have grabbed the one that's got a little holly berry in it. And I don't want that to compete with the images on that one, so let me grab this one. Okay, so for the inside, I am just going to add that little strip. I thought I would throw a bow on the inside as well. And my sentiment, I'm doing these in real red. There we go. And that's just going to go onto the inside. And there you have it. There's my catalog case. If you're unfamiliar, case means copy and share with everyone. So it's my copy of this. They used a little bit different background. They also added some little extra pine boughs here. We didn't do that at Stamp Camp. Sometimes if I have too many pieces, I get in trouble. They say, too many pieces, Beth. So I omitted the little pine. I did not omit the Merry Christmas, and I'm just realizing I didn't do that with you. So we added this to the side as well. So there we go. Oh, here I put the strip at the bottom. I forgot that. And here I put the strip at the top. Either way works out really nicely. So there is my copy of the catalog. I hope you enjoy it. Take a look at this bundle. It's called the Cottage Wreaths. And take a look at all those holiday inside stamps. I'm going to go through them one more time. Hope and Peace, Brightest Glow, Christmas to Remember, Framed and Festive next month. Oh, and this one, Very Best Occasions. And that's what I used just now. Thanks for watching. Bye.